What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk, Fatima Lafano of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining me here today. Hey, Lions Talk Live morning show edition. You know what? We've got a little bit of a topic today. Do I think at the end of the day this goes down? No, I don't. But you know what? It's being reported through a couple different outlets. So I did want to bring it to your attention with the main topic of the day. We'll get into that momentarily. This is coming from both John Conan from the Sporting News, and also, let's see, we've got a couple other people here with Yard Barker and a couple other outlets reporting that apparently the Detroit Lions and the Buffalo Bills have potentially had some conversations about trade between both parties. I don't know the full details, neither do either of the reporters that I could find in the stories, but could Amik Roberton be out the door for the Detroit Lions? I guess it is a possibility. We all get it. Detroit Lions organization has added quite a few cornerbacks to the room, and we still have guys that were younger like Amik Roberton, Terrion Arnold from last season, plus the upcoming draft. Could we do something? I guess we'll talk about it and see what the Duke Crew has to say during the main topic of the day. Before we get into the main topic of the day, the 5 glorious headlines now and everything else in between. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are, let's see, survey says 21 subs away from hitting 13,500. So if you can help out with that, that would be most wonderful and excellent of you. Also, if you have a half second of time, it is free of charge. Reach on down and hit that thumbs up button, that like button, hit all the buttons. Let's get that thing going because we try to get every episode of the show between 2, 3, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. As you probably know, if you watch YouTube for any length of time, the more likes you get, the more comments you get, the more shares you get, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the more it helps the channel. So if you're watching the show and you're enjoying everything we do here with the Duke Crew, please consider reaching on down and helping out with those free of charge supports. Last but never least, if you're considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call. Shoot me a text. Maybe throw a carrier pigeon my way. Whatever it is, you see the number on my screen, 269-998-2384. I've been in the industry for over 30 years. If you're looking for someone who's going to look out for your best interests, make sure you're not getting overcharged by the title company, the lender, or whoever else, then go ahead and contact me. Let's use that experience to get you the right house, the right price. It can be commercial property, vacant land, a new house, old house, whatever it is. As long as it's real estate related, I can help you on out and save you some money. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show rocking and rolling and going and get into the first topic, which is 5 headlines now. All right, 5 glorious headlines coming your way. Detroit Lions news. PFF believes Detroit had top 5 value free agent signing. SB Nation story by Jeremy Risman. Yes, and that is correct. Pro Football Focus, as you guys know, has given out some grades, or what do you want to say, statements on different teams and free agent signings. Now that for the most part, the major wave of free agency is over. And yes, Levi Onwuzurike is considered their number 2 best free agent signing when it comes to, and this is across all NFL teams, when it comes to the player's performance, their future prospects, and what it's costing to get that player. We were all probably a little surprised when re-signing Levi Onwuzurike to a 1-year, roughly $4 million deal made their PFF's list. But when you look at what he did in the last 2 months of the regular season, I was real surprised more teams didn't reach out, try to acquire him. The only thing I could think of is that teams were a little worried about the back injury. We get it. It took basically 2.5 seasons for Levi to kind of get over that spinal fusion. He came into the draft with some questions about his back. The Lions drafted him, and then just months after it was determined he was going to have major spine fusion to help correct the process. Most people I talk to have gone through a kind of procedure like that say, man, the chance of returning to play football is about zero. In fact, for those of you I know watch YouTube all the time, Micro Mike has had a spinal fusion. He talks about it on his show from time to time. And some of the issues he's gone through. But the fact that Levi has not only just returned to play in the NFL, but to play at a pretty high level, that speaks volumes to the man, the character, and also medical science. The other aspect of it is he did play well towards the end of the season. Most, I think, watching the show expected him to get a pretty good offer from somewhere else, a different team. He may have taken a hometown discount just to stay here with Detroit and see if he could do something to kind of repay the kindness the franchise has shown him by having faith in him. He goes out and has another good, strong season this year, then I do think the Lions have to make a tough choice. Do we resign him to a 2-3 year deal, or do we have to let him walk to go somewhere else? Onwuzurike's 47 pressures, 70.2 Pro Football Focus overall grade, and 20 stops in 2024 were all career highs. He had a 12.5 pass rush win rate, which was in the top 15 mark for his position in the NFL. So let that sink in. From an interior defensive lineman to get after the quarterback like that, that's pretty dang awesome. To have that kind of win rate's even better. To be able to get that guy for $4 million for a season, that's incredible. And I've said it on the show before. I know a number of you guys have said it too. He may be, if he is not the most speed gifted, athletically gifted defensive tackle in the league, he's in rare air. He's got to at least be top 5. The dude's got wheels, and he's only getting better. Let's see what he can do for the Lions this upcoming season. All right, Mike Green was Lions target in latest Sports Illustrated mock draft. SI.com, story about John Macaron with this one. Mock drafts are flying around left and right. We've had 2 on the show. We talk about them, it seems like at least every other day on the channel. Who's Mock's got going to Detroit, whatever. It's that time of year. We all get it. You're going to have more and more of these things, especially now that we're down to roughly 4 weeks from the draft. But in the Sports Illustrated one that ran out yesterday, they did have the Lions going after Mike Green, and I know a lot of you guys would be happy about it. I get it. The guy's got a whole lot of stuff that you would love to have opposite Aiden Hutchinson. And the biggest thing right off the bat is wheels. Green led the nation with 17 sacks in 2024, and he can win both with speed and power. The knock on Green's skills is his size. He is 6'3", 252 pounds with 32-inch arms. At the scouting combine, the 6'4". So, hey, they measured him and found an extra inch, I guess. 243-pound defensive lineman was asked about the pair of sexual assaults allegations made against him in the past. In a nutshell, I'm not going to read through all of it for him, but it just goes on to say, and it does sound like it's come out since the scouting combine, that those accusations were false, and the police aren't moving forward with it. His main focus right now is just telling these teams everything that they need to know regarding that. It's a little frustrating just seeing online that anybody and everybody can say whatever they want about you and without any kind of replication. So I get it. And I know I've spoken about this before on the show. And people can make any kind of accusations about you. And I learned that as a reporter, not just on sports, but in courtroom stuff. Just because you make a claim doesn't mean the claim is correct. Sometimes, I hate to say it, people just want to get into your business, try to get into your wallet. And at least so far, if everything holds water with this, it does seem like Mike Green was the victim from people just basically trying to defame him. I hope that ends up being the case for the young man, because obviously you don't want that to go against anybody. So only thing I would say, old man wisdom here, is when you hear somebody make an accusation, take the time and due diligence to make sure that accusation is accurate and not just a false claim, because unfortunately it does happen from time to time. Hopefully Mike Green is someone who has just been falsely accused. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Sam Laporta jokes about new, quote, enemy, Ben Johnson, after Bears move. Clutch points. Story by Ben Strauss with this one. So for those who don't know, this came out yesterday. Sam Laporta did an interview, I want to say on a podcast, And of course, over the course of the interview, the topic of Ben Johnson was going to come up. He's now going to be facing Sam Laporta twice a year. Laporta talked eloquently about Ben Johnson, said he was a big reason why the Lions drafted Sam Laporta. And Laporta's happy for Ben Johnson to get the chance, but he does go on to say, while Ben Johnson did a lot to help the Lions, did a lot to help Sam Laporta, did a lot to help this offense be one of the better ones in the NFL, he does think that the Lions can move on from him. He talks very well about John Morton, hasn't had to deal with him a lot, but from his initial interactions with John Morton, he thinks the Lions are going to be just fine on offense, go in a good direction, and he's excited to be used, and he does mention it in a few more vertical shots down the field. He also goes on to say that when they face the Bears, friendship stays outside the stadium. He's going to do everything he can to put an L on the Bears front page of Chicago Tribune the following day. So Sam Laporta is ready to face his old friend and coach, and he thinks that the Lions are going to go 2-0 against him. I love the fact that he threw that in there. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. Lions should sign a, quote, bridge edge rusher before the NFL draft. Athlon Sports, story by John Vicario. Johnny Vicario knows no rest, no sleep, and he does think that the Lions should go out and sign Preston Smith. He's been in the NFC North for a bit with different teams. He's, first full 5 seasons were with Green Bay. His 2024 season, which split between the Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers, was disappointing. Only 4.5 sacks in 17 games. However, he has a proven track record of producing in the pass rush and would likely benefit from a larger snap share of the 30% he got in Pittsburgh. So could you go out and sign him and get him on a cheap deal? Come on in, be another body to throw at offensive lines, another person with some pass rush abilities, and get after him. That's where he thinks that the Preston Smith would be an option. There could also be somebody like Carl Lawson. Lawson didn't have the same career peak that Smith had, but has largely been consistent in his ability to get to the quarterback. Does go on to speculate, John Vicario, that Lawson could be had for a deal worth just over $1 million, which, you know what? You look at some of the signings the Lions have had this offseason, that would kind of hold true to what they've done with other players. Get somebody cheap, camp body. If he wins one of the 53 spots, then good for him. All right, last of 5 headlines now. Notes why Mekhi Wingo could be, quote, special for Lions in 2025. Story by Detroit Lions on SI. Story by John Macron with this one. John Macron covers this team for a living. We all get it, know it. And yes, I think he's spot on. In 11 games last year, Wingo recorded 5 pressures across 177 total defensive snaps prior to a knee injury that brought his season to a close. He had 9 tackles with 1 solo and 1 quarterback hit. However, expectations for the former 6th-round pick have really risen this offseason. Sounds like that knee is healing up quite a bit. Sounds like Wingo is also putting on some upper body mass while trying to develop even more speed. We talked earlier about Levi Onwuzurike perhaps being the fastest interior defensive lineman in the NFL. Mekhi Wingo's not far off it. If you watch those guys go at it in sprinting drills or whatever, those two are fairly neck and neck. Could it be that the Lions could have 2 of the fastest interior defensive linemen in the league and Wingo have a ton of upside? This report, if you want to check it out, again, go to Detroit Lions on SI, John Macron's story. He details a lot of different reasons why he thinks both himself and then Tucker over the Detroit Free Press believe that this could be a breakout season for now soon to be the second-year defensive lineman. Whether they use him as the big end or interior defense lineman, that remains to be seen. I think both him and Levi will get reps at both spots this upcoming season. Wingo's got a lot of athleticism and a lot of good already pass rush skills, moves, etc. I think about what a year 2 move could have for him. You know what? I think the Lions might just be right with him. All right, let's get on from the 5 headlines now and on over to the main top of the day. All right, main top of the day. Not going to spend a ton of time on this, but let's dive into it because it did come out, like I said, per multiple different reports. Trade pitch between contenders would send the Lions star Amik Robinson over to the Buffalo Bills. Now, the report is unclear if they would do this for draft picks or an exchange of player. I think you need a go after both ideas and see which would be best for the Lions. So again, this is coming from Athlon Sports. This is coming from the Sporting News. This is also coming from the Bleacher Report. So 3 different outlets all in the same story. Come to your own conclusions. But in recent weeks, the Lions have added a lot of talent to the cornerback room, which I think is part of the reason this trade idea at least deserves some consideration from Lions fans. Robinson played great down the stretch. We all get it, that regular season finale. He might have been the best cornerback for either team on the field, and he just shut down Justin Jefferson the way most would not have guessed possible. He's good against the run. He's good against the pass. Yes, he's a little undersized, but he's also entering the last year of his contract. Would the Lions be wise to consider moving on from him, trading him for, I don't know, a wide receiver, offensive lineman, an edge rusher, or draft capital? I guess all could be true, especially if the Bills they feel like a gluttony of one of those positions, and I don't know if they do. I don't really pay attention to the Bills that much. You guys probably know more on that than I do. But Robertson, my thoughts personally, you've got an opportunity this year to potentially go to the playoffs, potentially go to the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be selling off parts, especially someone as important as a cornerback and potentially a starting quarterback. We all get the expectation is Terrion Arnold will be a starter. DJ Reed will be a starter. And I would assume right now the other expectation for the third starting, cornerback safety person would be Amik Robinson. Now, maybe Brad Holmes has an opinion along with the coaching staff that, I don't know, Enos Rakestraw or I don't know, Cleo Dorsey or Vontae Maddox or Rock Ya-Sin or something like that is going to replace and come in and be just as good, if not better, than Amik Robinson. But I would just say my personal thoughts, I think Amik Robinson should be your starter, at least in one of those spots. Could you move him or Reed or somebody else to the hybrid iffy spot that you're a safety, corner, linebacker? That is also possible. But I think the Lions last year should learn from the injury bug. Now, are we going to ever see a season like that again? I would pray not, but you also know that injuries happen in the NFL, and you're only as good as your depth. I would not be in a hurry if it was up to me to get rid of Amik Robinson. And also being said, somebody makes you an offer you can't refuse, well, then maybe you look into it. But what say you do, crew? Like, again, there are multiple reports on this. I've got at least 3 that I've got. I'm sure there's others that I didn't see that are all on this story. The Buffalo Bills, yes, they do need cornerback help. That part I do know. Robinson would help out on that. Yes, you also have to believe that if the Lions move on from Amik Robinson, there's probably some belief from them that they're not going to be able to resign him a year from now. So get something versus nothing. That's also a possibility. Me, myself, and I, as I've said before, though, I would not be in a hurry to do just this. All right, Duke Crew, you've heard me talk about the 5 headlines now. You heard me talk about Amik Robinson. Let me know in the comments section. Regarding a potential trade for Amik, just put Amik yes, Amik no. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and let me scroll up to the top of the screen, and we'll get the Duke Crew comment section going. On a side note, I'm starting to be able to tell in the offseason what day it is by whether or not I have a special guest or not. I know on Tuesdays, special guest, well, it's got to be Anthony. So the next day's got to be Wednesday, right? Yeah, that's, I guess, where I've gotten with things. All right, Michael, great salutations, Coach Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, back at you. Clark, this would make sense to me after signing all those other corners who are more or less the same size as me. That's a great point, Clark. Meeks, I want to say 5'9", 5'9.5", and I do want to say 2 or 3 of the guys we've signed are right around there, somewhere between 5'9", 5'10". So you're right, from a physical standpoint, they're all very similar. All right, Michael, the question is, who do we get, or do we get a draft pick? That's a $1 million question, and none of the reports, and maybe if I missed it in the reports, I apologize, but I didn't see anything about let me try to look through it real quick. I didn't see anything regarding it. Let's see, nothing on Bleacher, Yard, Sporting News. I didn't see anything as far as that to be confirmed. Hey, both teams are considering this, that, or the other thing. Detroit Lions cornerback Amik Robinson, who has a base salary of $4.2 million, would fit the profile to go to the Bills. But yeah, I'm reading through it real quickly on air here, and I don't see anything regarding what they would get. So your guess is as good as mine. Big Eddie, gritty salutation, Duke Crew. Coach, I got to get this off my chest. Yesterday, I got into it with a guy in the comments. saying all we do is speculate on stuff. I got on him that almost all off-season stories are speculation. Here's what I'd say. And I think I made a comment on one of them about it. I can't make everybody happy. I put together a show. It's going to work for some. It doesn't work for everybody. Go with what works for you. The only thing I can say to your point, Eddie, is you think about, mock drafts. Mock drafts are all speculation. Hey, are we going to trade for this guy? That's speculation. During the season, when you put out, hey, here's my prediction video for the season. Well, that's speculation. Here's my prediction video for this weekend's game. And everybody does it. ESPN, Timbuktu, everybody in between. 99% of sports stories are speculation based. The only ones that aren't are, okay, we do the game review. When you review the game and break down what happened, that's, just a review. I would say probably most of that story isn't speculation, but everything else in sports, for the most part, is speculation. And if it doesn't work for you and you're watching, I'm sorry. You need to probably find a different show. I'm just not sure what you're going to find that isn't speculative in the offseason. Because if you're talking about mock drafts or trades, or are we going to sign this guy? Is this guy going to get cut? Is this guy going to, beat out this guy at the position? That's all speculation. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan of the Duco. What a team. What a podcast. What a time be a Lions fan. Woo! And back at you. Thanks for that, Henry. Trey, what's good all? Question mark. So what would we get if we trade him? Question mark. That I don't know. I wouldn't be upset, but I do think he's our number 3 corner. Does this mean Rake or someone else is able to take Robertson's spot? If they move on from him, Trey, and probably everybody's got the same thought, you got to believe that, whoever you got in-house is better or at least equal to him. I don't think you're going to be willing to get worse at a spot just to get a draft pick or something. I've been wrong before, but that's what my thought is you're only going to trade somebody if you believe the next guy you're putting in that spot is actually going to be an improvement. Just right, Big Eddie, who's going to start? Yeah, 100%. We are drafting that guy who wins tonight's game. Should we hire that coach? It's all speculation. Yeah, 100%. Let's see. Alec, good morning, Coach. I wouldn't even entertain trading any DB after what the team went through last season. Exclamation points. Depth. No, I'm with you on that. I think, man, if it was the off season after next season, maybe then you do it. But I just think you just don't want it. You've got a chance to have, in my opinion, the deepest Lions team any of us have seen. I think there's real potential after this draft and maybe some, undrafted free agent player signings. We're going to look from top to bottom on this team, and the 53 guys that make it, man, they're all going to be pretty dang good. The guys that get cut, especially that last, the last guys to be considered cut, I think those guys are going to all end up on other NFL teams. We're that good this year. Drake, I agree. What would we get in return? Question mark. A 5th, a 6th. Nah, I'm good. Put the best team out on the field we can. Yeah, I agree with you on that one there, Drake. Silver Server, good morning, Coach and everyone. Back at you. 5 fingers, Freddie. Robinson played at a high level, I feel, towards the end of the season. If it were me, I'm not letting him go unless we really feel someone else can take, that spot at the same skill level. Yeah, I don't want to get worse at any spots, only if I feel I can get better. Silver Server, happy birthday to my friend, the good kid, Jameson Williams. Happy birthday to him. Yeah, Terry Arnold just had a birthday. It is birthday season for the Detroit Lions. Brandt's always up to something. I won't be surprised if something like this goes down. If Holmes can get someone to overpay, he might do the trade. No, that's the one part I think we would all agree on. Brad Holmes, if somebody needs something, they're willing to increasingly overpay to acquire said object. That's where I think you've got some real good conversations there that maybe something goes down. But again, just me being selfish here, I don't want to see him traded. Excuse me. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. We have enough, maybe even too many draft picks. I just don't see the need to get more for this year. I'd rather have some the proven talent on the field come Sundays. Yeah, and I know we talked about that. Seems like every day on the show right now that I really doubt the Lions are going to keep all 7 or 8 of their draft picks. I think they're going to move on for some guys, package some stuff, move up in the draft, et cetera, because at the end of the day, we already get it. We've got 70-some guys under contract. You're going to add 8 draft picks. Well, that's 80. Man, you're going to sign some free agent guys here and there, camp bodies. They'll get you to 90. And then you got to cut them all down to 53. So I think you're spot on with that. Argus, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, exclamation point, trade denied. We'll put a big stamp on it. No. Michael, good morning, Stephanie. I agree. Quentin, green citation, preach, Marcus. Amik balled out. Keep that player. Too hard to find others like him. Yeah, I agree with you. Finding good cornerbacks that especially are good at run support and take pride in it, setting that edge, coming up and putting bodies on things. That's the one thing I really do like about DJ Reed is you look at Meek and how he does that. Arnold towards the end of the season, and now I think all three of them are going to be real good physical presence in the run game, and then you add in our safety play. I like it. I like it a lot. Dale, good morning, Duke Crew. I sure hope Amik is not traded. Me too, my friend. Stephanie, good morning, Michael. Man Bear, good morning, Dandis and the almighty Duke Crew, and back at you. Silver Server Coach, I found out that Josiah Stewart edged for the Wolverines at the highest winning percentage rate on pass rush in all of college football. He is 6'1", but packs 250 pounds and stocky. Thoughts? I like him. I just don't love him. At least not in the first round, I should say. Second round, third round, yeah, I think that's probably where we'll go. Although I do believe, Silver, that he's going in the second round. Man, I've been wrong before, though. I think for the Lions, they're probably going to go with somebody a little bit different in the first round, but in the second round, I think he could pop on. All right, so the countdown is on until the draft. Exclamation point. I think this is going to be a great upgrade for our team. No, I think so too. I think you have to look at the Lions drafts, and I get last year's draft because these guys haven't really got on the field. Everybody's like, we must have busted. I don't think so at all. I think the Lions have hit on a lot of those guys. We just have to wait and give them time. We know at least two off the bat. Well, I guess we could say three if you put in Jake Bates because he was a rookie. So if you look at the fact you got a starting kicker, starting corner, and it does appear that Chris Mahoney will be a starting guard, all three of those, and they're going to be starters, our starters, he did pretty dang well. Now, if Rakestraw ends up being a starter, that draft looks real solid. If Mekhi Wingo gives you anything next year, my goodness, that draft looks exponential, and just go through from there as other guys perhaps fill in. All right, Susan Scott, good morning, Duke, and I trust in Brad. I don't want to see any of our guys traded, but if that's what he feels is best, then I trust in him. Yeah, he's got to feel it's going to be a win-win for the Lions. Hardy, unless it is one of their starting offensive linemen, good guard, or good thought there. I'm not giving away Amik. Yeah, I knew we were going with that. Yeah. And I agree with you. You'd have to really get something that you believe is, wow, that's a great move for the Lions, I think, in order to trade Amik Robinson. Voltron Force, I doubt we unload Meek. Me too. We need more depth at free safety and strong safety, but some of our new DBs can roll into those spots. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was even some potential, and I'll throw this out there, where Terrion Arnold, don't forget, he played safety in college, then moved to corner. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes over the Iffy Melifano role, and now you go, I don't know, Meek on one side, DJ Reed on the other, maybe Rakestraw in the middle. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways you could Scooby-Doo this thing, but I think you're onto something there, Voltron. Trey, I still think if anybody gets traded in Sugar, I'd say that's probably the most likely target, although I won't be surprised if the Lions don't trade him. Sorry. Not considering Pierce Jr., how far should the Lions trade to get Grant? I'd say about 15. Not easy. Onwuzurike there at 28. Would they pick him? I can't wait for the draft. Never more curious. Here's what I'll say about this year's draft. And Duke Crew, I want to hear your comments on it. Get past the top five guys. I think those five are pretty solid. We get it. They should go in the top five. But when you start getting to like number 8 or 9, and you look at that guy, number 8 or 9 through number 30, are there a whole lot of guys that if I said, this guy was could be drafted at number 10 or number 20 or 25, would you really be surprised to see that guy move around? I think there's a lot of flexibility in this year's draft. And some of that's because of the talent. Some of it is because there aren't, in my opinion, the generational guys. At least it doesn't seem like it. Like I said, the top few, okay, I get it. But after that, I think there's a lot of words of wisdom that could be said that this guy, like, you just brought up Grant. Could I see him going 12? Yes. Could I see him going 32? Absolutely. Same with Pierce Jr. Could I see him going 13 or 14? Yes. Could I see him going in the second round? Totally. And that's, I think, one of the values to this draft is there's that amount of parity across it. I think that's also why you'll see a lot of wheels and dealing without breaking the bank. Pat, that's not a bad idea. Hardy, yeah, I agree with you as far as maybe being a trade him for an offensive lineman or something. I already heard some teams want to trade for Hutchinson, St. Brown, Gibbs, laughing out loud. I'm sure a lot of teams would. If you were running another team, wouldn't you want to try to acquire them? I would think so. So hit that thumbs up button, fellows. If you get a chance, yeah, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Dale, would it bring back a 5th round pick? Can't see the Bills offering up anything higher, but could certainly be wrong on that. I don't think, Dale, that he would go for more than a 5th-ish. Not unless, okay, fine, Bills give us a 3rd or 4th, and the Lions give you a 6th then return or something like that. Something like that I could see. Alrighty, can't wait until the draft. There's not much going on news-wise until then. No, you're 100%. We're in kind of that lull. About 2 weeks from now, you really see the draft talk really ramp up. And then after the draft, you got a week or two, everybody breaking down the players and stuff. And then you've got about 3 weeks until the schedule release. After the schedule release, then you've got about a month and a half until OTAs and stuff like that. So it's just part of the cycle, right? David, what do you got? I like the idea of trading for an offensive guard. There you go. Silver Server. Meek's not moving unless somebody gives a 2nd round or a 3rd round at the minimum. Could be the other team already proposed a renewal. Hope he stays and gets a 2-year extension. Yeah, I'd like the guy, and if we keep him, I got no worries with it, no problems with it. Jess, I'm thinking he doesn't go down. Why would we? I'm thinking this doesn't go down. My bad. JC, greetings, salutations, Drew Crew. Back at you, my friend. Good to see you, man. Feels like it's been a minute. Silver, we need Amik. We need him. Let's keep him. Silver, let's see. Kurt Steele, what up, Drew Crew? What's up, man of Steel? How you doing? Let's see. Pierce, this trade would really, really be dumb. Yeah, and I'm with you there. I don't see it happening, but then again, I don't know what's being offered. So, hey, if they're going to throw Josh Allen and 29 first-round picks into it, maybe you consider it. Michigan Panther Brad, good morning. All vacation has officially begun. Enjoy it, my friend. What up, Kurt? We'll find out. Dale, good morning, Kurt. Coach Rock, good morning. All trade away, but who would Detroit get in return is the question. That is the multi-million-dollar question. Again, good morning and greetings, salutations, and the new crew. Exclamation point. Go Lions, Super Bowl bound. Woo! Back at you. Hopefully it's a good day for you, my friend. Chris Steele, Michigan Panther Pride, Dale Harley, and good morning, fellas. Good morning, everybody. Robert, good morning, Dan. Good morning, Robert. Jim, we got Amik for very cheap. Yes, we did. You look at a lot of the contracts Brad Holmes has acquired players on, they are pretty dang team-friendly. Trading up might be really cheap for the best edge. Yeah, it could be. And again, Jim, to your point, I know I was just talking about it, is you look at the parity between, pick whatever, late, 8 to 10 to 29 or whatever. I think there might not be as big a cost this year to move up or back or whatever in the draft because so many of the guys could really go a multitude of different ways. I won't be surprised to see us be very active during the draft and trades. Mike Pete, keep Amik, exclamation point. I like him, and he was performing at the end of last season. Yeah, he was, man. He, like I was saying earlier, Mike, he might have been, during that Vikings game, the last game of the regular season, he might have been the best player on the field for either team in regards to the secondary. It was unfortunate that he went out, in 30 seconds or less against Washington, but friendly fire took him out. Michigan Panther Pride, world-class realtor that works hard so you don't have to. Hey, I like that slogan. I might have to use that one. Thank you for that. Brian, good morning, everyone. Let's go, Lions. Happy Wednesday to everyone, and back at you. Make it a great day, my friend. Silver, and don't forget, Meek stays on the field, stays healthy. That is key for Detroit. Yeah. It was really only the friendly fire of Jack Campbell that broke that arm or forearm or whatever. It's unfortunate he went out in the playoff game. Good steal. I like Amik, but we just assigned 2 more Smurfs. We did indeed. And I know we talked about it earlier, Kurt. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Is there any validity to potentially this trade going down? The fact that the Lions basically have signed 2 clones of Amik Robinson. I don't know if that comes into things or not. Dale 5, glorious headlines now. Oh, yeah, you got to love it, man. We try to make them fun for you. Philippines on demand. Now, talk about something I haven't seen in a minute. Good to see you. Hello, Lions Talk Live. Hope you've been well. I might be one of the minority, but I like what the Lions have done in free agency so far. Me too. I do like it. And the best part is the draft is coming. The team on paper is already better. I think this thing is going to be, and I'm not going to keep beating up, but I think this will be the deepest Lions team we've all seen. Kill shots. Good morning, day and the Duke crew. Happy hump day to all. Back at you. Did the lenders I gave information on get a hold of you? Because if not, we need to talk later today. I am working on a couple of different lenders that can work on vacant land and construction builds for you. So I'll keep on that, my friend. Hey, coach, I had a spinal fusion, and I know it puts stress on the discs above and below the fusion. I'm surprised he's able to play with it. Me too, man. And, I haven't gone through the procedure. Just talking to other people when it went down for Levi. Yeah, a lot of people are saying, man, he's got to be a total warrior to get through it. But give him praise, give the medical staff praise, the training staff praise. He's done a pretty good job getting back on the field. Silver Server, I pray Levi plays great and gets a future contract. I love the kid. He does seem like a good human being. I get why the Lions want to keep him. And to your point, Silver, I hope he balls out so they can keep him. Philippines, I don't want Mike Green. I want that linebacker, but he won't follow us. Forgot dude's name. Could it be Campbell? Maybe that's the one you're thinking about. And yeah, he's another person. I could see him going anywhere from 12 to 30, somewhere in that range. All right, Broski. Hi, Philippines. Silver Sir, unfortunate today, and there isn't a close second. The most explosive defensive tackle in the NFL is Kalijah, but we got Campbell. I know, Coach, we might not see eye to eye on this. It's all right. Yeah, it's no worries, man. I get why you would want Cansey. I get why some people, like Campbell. At the end of the day, at this point, it's all in the past. David, hello, David. Where are you in the Philippines? We'll find out. Silver Sir. Plus, I'm a Lions fan. I got to find something to criticize. Otherwise, what are we going to talk about? Hey, I'm down with it. Philippines. I don't like Ben anymore. I don't like this sneaky snake method during the season. Real shady dude. There's a lot of thoughts on that. A lot of thoughts. David, we are in, Tarlac. All right. Melenzo Island. All right. Okay. Philippines, 11 years. Central London here. All right. David, few months here. All right. Cool. Still single up there. All right. We got it. All right. Wow. Congrats. Let's see. Thomas, I do not trade Amik. Exclamation point. He loves being a Lion. He's a stud. Yeah, he does seem to like it here. I hope we keep him. Dale, Wingo developing further would be huge. I concur. He's got promise. Thanks as always, Coach, for putting on a great show. Enjoy being here. Hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Hey, it's part of my everyday now. Thomas, smash that like, y'all, and thank you for that. Aaron, good morning, Coach and crew. What up, Doe? Should we sign any more free agents for the draft? I wouldn't be opposed to it, especially if you want to beef up the depth at, say, safety or offensive line guard. I think those would be the spots. I think everything else is pretty dang loaded, but, everyone has their own thoughts. Let's see, Philippines, don't trade Amik. No way. I like the way you're thinking. Pat, Ben, think that you can put a bunch of guys together and be able to play like the Lions. Skip the Bears. I hope we stomp all over them. You know what? We're going to have 2 opportunities to stomp on them next year and see what happens. Gary, happy hump day, do crew, and back at you. Philippines, Bet, I hope the Lions humble Ben real quick. Exclamation point. Can't stand him anymore. Sneaky snake. Indeed. Leonard, good morning, Coach the New Crew. No on Amik. I like it indeed. David, Ben the Trader Johnson. We'll find out. Let's see. Raymond, do not trade Amik. He's perfect for the team and proven that he's good enough to stay on this team. No, I agree with you. I think we're all pretty much on the same page. We don't want to see him go. Silver Server, Wingo is great. Exclamation point. Now he is somebody who does have the resemblance of Kalijah. Wingo is 6 foot tall and already at 290. How big does he need to be? Question mark. You don't want to lose explosives. You're the number 1 trait at defensive end. Yeah, last year they played him at tackle and end, but they did that with Levi Onwuzurike too. They let them both play the big end from time to time. Tug Speedman, haven't seen him in a minute. Good to see you. Amik is vital to our success in the secondary. It would be Brad's biggest mistake if he trades him. Yeah, and I think we all agree, don't trade him, but at the same time, we don't know what the alleged offer is. Until we know that, it's really hard to say, but I do not want to see him go. Let's see, the 302 kid, good morning. Trading Amik would be a big mistake. Probably won't happen. Oh, I agree with that. Pat, Philippines, I agree. He's not a leader of men. He is not Dan. No, he is not. Philippines, I agree with you, Dan. Hang on to Amik. He's a valuable piece. I concur. Ski, what do you got? Amik, yes, to Buffalo for Espinal in the second round or third. Okay, well, if we can get all that, we'll find out. Let's see, Gary, I don't believe Brad gives our talent to anyone. No, I agree. They would really, I think you would have to really overpay for Brad to move on from somebody. Gordy, Amik is the heart and soul who makes the team gel. I think that's well said. Well said. Thomas, if Wingo can stay healthy, he can be a poor man's John Randall. Hey, I'd take that in a minute. Ryan Coca, what is that? Good morning, Duke Crew. Go Lions. Woo! And back at you, Silver. Plus, the Lions don't need more picks unless it is a high pick. Give away one bright spot from last season. Think about that. No, I agree with you. You really would have to overpay, I believe, to get Amik out of the building. Philippines, Dan, you do a great job. Thank you for that, man. Exclamation point. People need to realize this is for entertainment purposes and supposed to be fun. Forget about the difficult folks and just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, man. I mean, the good part is being my age nowadays, having gone through it all, as a reporter and stuff, people are going to, question it. Not everybody, but there are going to be some people that, just get into their feelings about something. The only thing I can say is, if the show doesn't work for you, find another one. There's a gajillion Lion shows out there. Find the one that works best for you. Let's see. Southwest, stupid trade idea. What the heck would we trade Amik for? Yeah, that's my point too. Question mark. Arnold is not given at no shape or fashion. What if he's still getting cooked? Then what? He has a lot to prove. It's not like his job is safe. No, I'll go with that. And good morning to you, Southwest. Let's see, Courtney, who is... I'll go with that. Thomas, my only issue with the draft is we beat a dead horse for 2 months. The only time, to me, we're talking about it is a week of. I do understand the appeal, though. Yeah, some people I don't play fantasy football, but I know a lot of people absolutely love it. And I'm sure a lot of it is because of the drafting process. So this time of year, you got to have things to talk about. It is a slower time of the year. It's so, you talk about the draft amongst other things. Courtney, Meek had Vikings JJ in his hip pocket. He did, man. That was just, did anybody really see that coming? Probably not. And he just, man, he was all over JJ. Thomas, again, in this draft, if we end up with only 3 players, but it's 3 players that Brad and Dan want, I'm happy because we have a very good football team. We do indeed. JK, slow news, it seems. I get it, 100%. Gary agreed, JK. Philippines, the name police is here. Chat, are you sure it's Amik Robinson or is it Robertson? I think it's Robertson. Asking for a drunk friend. It happens, man. It happens. Let's see. Okay, the off season is just what this happens. It's not like Dan has a crystal ball. Yeah, a lot of stuff this time of year is speculation, but like we talked about earlier, not to beat it up, but most sports reporting is speculation. Unless you're doing a game review, like if you do a breakdown of a game, here's what's going to happen in tomorrow night's game. That's all speculation. You think you know what's going to happen. When you break down what did happen, now you're reciting the results, the facts of what the game was. So the rest of it's all, for the most part, unless it's breaking news, this trade went down, this person signed, this person went somewhere else. The vast majority of sports reporting is speculation based. JK, other teams interested in the Lions players, that's a good sign too. No, it is. And I think you'll see everybody in that last wave of cuts on the 53-man cut down day. I think all of them are going to end up on other NFL teams pretty quick. Michael, maybe we just need to trade to get more capital to move up in the draft to get players we want. It could be an option. Silver, the more I think about it, the more I think this is possible. Amik wants an extension, and he wants it now. Lions not ready, and here comes the trade. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I hope we don't get rid of him. We'll find out. Phil, good morning. Back at you, Phil. Black JR Jones, hit that like button and share it. Thank you very much for that. JK, if it happens, it happens. Got to trust in Brad. Yeah, you got to believe if he pulls the trigger on it, he's got a good reason for it. Philippines on demand. I once ran the 40 in 2 days! Exclamation point. Broad jumped 2 feet and benched a box of Pringles 10 times. Don't mess with me. We'll keep away from you, my friend. Keep away. Thomas, until Hooker shows something in preseason, we're going to get anything but a 5th round at best from him. Yeah, could be that we don't get much from him. If they trade him, I won't be surprised. If we keep him, I won't be surprised. With Hendon Hooker, I don't know. I like the kid. Want to see what he can do. Michael, maybe the Lions use Roy Lopez on both an edge and tackle. Could be possible. Michigan Panther Pride, UFL season starts Friday. We'll keep you busy with that. Philippines, do we really think Brad would trade Meek for an unproven 5th round guy? Not happening. No, I don't think they will, man. I don't think they will. Okay, you sound like a beast, Philippines on demand. 100%. He's working out. Michigan Panther Pride, that will help with getting your football fix until the end of June. Probably true. JK, cool move. to bet on Friday. All right. Hookadoo, haha, says Philippines. Thomas, if UM's Grant or Graham is available, I pick them. Yeah, I think both of them are pretty dang good players. Gary, UFL, there'll be a few available picks there. Probably true. JK, there might be a great offensive center or guard in the UFL. It's possible. Michigan Panther, I said when Hutch got hurt, we should have picked up Breland Speaks. He was the defensive player of the year from the Michigan team. Yeah, that's an idea. Gary said the same thing. JK, Panther Pride. Kurt Steele, Panthers on the prowl this weekend. Michigan Panther Pride. We'll find out. Gary, just hope Knuckles is as strong as before the injury. I believe he will be, especially since he's had this much time to heal it on up. Michigan Panther Pride. Yes, sir. It's been too long. There we go. Keegan, what's the news, coach? And now you know. At least I think you probably know by this point. Okay, Michigan Panther Pride. What TV networks carry the Michigan Panther games? I don't know. That I don't know. I think Fox, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll want to check on that. Michigan Panther Pride. Yeah, Fox and ESPN. We have 80% or more. And the last network is ABC, I believe. Good for them, man. Good for them that at least hitting some coverage. Phil, this is the show that works best. The interaction is very refreshing. And Dan's enthusiasm is contagious. Well, I do my best that I can. And, hey, try to make it entertaining for everybody. Anthony, let's see. Bills have nothing to offer worth a trade. Yeah, I don't know their team well enough to know if there's some diamond in the rough to go after or something like that, or if it would just be for draft capital. Okay, thumbs up. Okay, thanks. Michigan Panther, I agree, Phil. He built a good, positive community here in the Duke Crew. Yes, it's a great crew we have here. Everybody, gets along well, makes it fun, makes it interactive. Philippines, absolutely, he sure did. Thanks for that. Bad guy, wait and find out draft day. Well, it could be. We might have to wait for the draft. Share Facebook and X. Yes, and thank you for that, if you would. Detroit Lions bad guy sounds like Meek's another player who rather get money than win the Super Bowl. Yeah, that I don't know. I just know that, again, there were multiple reports. I've got at least 3 that had this story, so I went with it. Mr. Ed, good morning. Dan and Duke, Lions Talk Live is the best way to start your day. Woo! And you know what? Maybe throw in a delicious Mountain Dew, and man, you're off to a great start. Phil, a truly fantastic snow shoveler. Hey, there we go. I do what I can when shoveling the snow. Philippines, I'm a Lions Talk Live fan, and the chat is filled with good people. I enjoy it here. Me too, man. I enjoy it exponentially. Kurt Steele, Philippines on Demand. What up, Doe? Well, we'll find out. Detroit Lions band guy. Dan, you love your Mountain Dew. Have you tried the Mountain Dew Maui? I have not. In the aluminum can, it tastes the best. Is definitely a nice summertime drink for days. Yeah, I'll have to try that out maybe this summer. Typically, I just get it from the fountain just because there's more water in it. Takes away some of the sugar to a certain degree. When I try to drink Mountain Dew nowadays from a can or a bottle, it's just too strong for me. All right, Philippines on Demand. Chris Steele, thanks for the greeting. I hope you're doing great, 100%. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here a little bit early, but if there is breaking news today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. If you would be so kind before checking it out, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit all the buttons. Other than that, be a good human being, do something kind for someone you don't know. Maybe go out of your way to say hi and help, I don't know, somebody out. Just how about this? Have a good day, do something kind for somebody you don't know, and we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, all.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to the Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Help Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?